I'm Jan Barnett from Grable, Wyoming. I quilt on the new Fusion, and I must be an HQ addict because I bought the Fusion sight unseen. In total, on my HQ 16 that I had before, I quilted 301. I've quilted probably about 40 on my Fusion already, and 60 some on my first HQ quilting frame with the small machine. I started in February of 2000. I wanted a log cabin quilt, and I took a 6-week beginning quilters class, and it's history from there because I just fell in love with it. I had a little old lady friend that I adopted for a grandma, and she was a hand quilter, hand piecer. She was always saying, "Hun, you need to make a quilt." "Mert, I don't want to be a quilter." So she'd say, "What kind of quilt do you want?" And she'd make it for me. Well, then when she passed away, I had to make my own log cabin because she didn't want to make a log cabin. She liked to do applique quilts. But anyway, when I'm standing there quilting on my machine, I can hear Mert say, "Hun, you need to make a quilt." And she would be totally fascinated with what I do now. And I do quilt for other people now. I have a business, and my business is Quilting by the Creek, and we live on a ranch, and that's what I do. So this quilt is it's Woolly Moments, and it's a hand applique, hand dyed wool quilt, and the wool on the quilt was a kit, and then we picked our own fabrics, the backgrounds and the sashing, and it was a block of the month for our quilt shop in Grable, and they all look so different when they were done, but I do like to take handwork with me when I go, and this was one when I first bought my HQ 16, this was one of the first quilts I quilted on it, so that's why and this one hangs in my quilt studio. So. In the blocks I have McTavishing here. I was practicing that, and I thought that would bring out the applique, and then in the sashing here I did a close leaf pattern. I was practicing on that. I had finished this one up before I got my HQ 16, but didn't feel comfortable trying it on my little frame because I just couldn't reach where I wanted to, so that's why this was one of the first ones I did on my HQ 16s.